substances, steroids, in a stronger way that might make Congress satisfied now?
This is precisely what Congress wanted us to do, plus some. And we're happy to have had their interest, and we're happy to respond to what their concerns were.
You said both sides, obviously in every negotiation, give a little bit. The owners heard your warning cry. What'd you give in on that you really wish could have been better in your favor?
Well, first of all, that we had proposed an outlier tax to take care of teams. We've guaranteed 14 players, active players on the roster.
Up from 12.
Those are all up from 12. Those are all money issues. We got 6 and 5 in terms of length of contract. There were some owners that would have liked to have 5 and 4, but overall, we made a series of compromises on virtually every subject in order to keep the game going.
There have been so many great stories this season. Phoenix coming up, and we could go on and on of cities and markets where the NBA is healthy and well. Obviously, what happened in November in Auburn Hills with the brawl with the fans put a black eye in many ways on the sport. I know you've been looking at, in general, and with some outside help, the image of the NBA. Does your league have an image problem right now?
We have had our best year ever. Record attendance. Our fans are turning out for the very kind of basketball that you, I guess, talk about with Phoenix, but talk about with this game. If Manu was driving them to a victory, I didn't look at the scores at a 1-point game, so we're very happy. Interest in the NBA is very, very high on a global basis, and we think that you can always improve your image. We would always like to do that, but we're very happy with where we are, and this collective bargaining agreement will let us work with the players to take advantage of everything that is now in front of us.
Where does that image improvement have to happen?
I think the image improvement has to happen where we continue to convince our fans that this new generation of stars cares very much about the game and the communities in which we play, and we will work together with the Players Union to accomplish that, and we are going to, as we said earlier, we're going to actually do this on a global basis, because we're going to be taking 4 teams to training camps in 2006 in Europe, 4 in 2007, and a variety of other initiatives as well outside the country.
Talking about global, more people are watching the finals around the world. There's been talk of the domestic ratings here. That's another story. I read a story in the New York Times on the front page this morning about a youngster in Brooklyn, a teenager, who was more interested in playing the Spurs against the Pistons video game than watching the actual game. There are more eyeball attention grabbers out there, the internet.
Yeah.
Are you worried that we're losing a generation of fans?
Actually, we're going to do a bunch of things with the help of the Walt Disney Company and our other broadcasters. We're going to make our games more compelling with high definition, interactivity, Dolby surround sound. Fans will be able to produce their own games in this digital world of ours and decide what camera. We're going to do everything with our broadcast partners to make it more interesting. But don't be fooled by the broadcast rating stories, because broadcast ratings are down, I guess, from a decade ago, 35%. The broadcast ratings are continuing to decline. That's life, because kids are watching us and consuming us in video games, on the internet, on wireless, in a variety of ways that we've never seen, and now we will devote ourselves to capturing all of that.
So you think the fan base is steady, not eroding?
This fan base, I think there's more interest in the NBA right now than there has ever been, both in this country and around the world.
Well, if the Spurs win, see you on the floor in an hour and a half. Thank you.
Okay.
Great to see you. Commissioner of the NBA, David Stern, a big day for the league as they and the Players Association reach a 6-year agreement in principle for a new collective bargaining agreement. Will Detroit force a Game 7? Bill and Greg have their thoughts on the second half when we come back. Tony Parker of the San Antonio Spurs. Opportunity for the closeout here tonight. Boy, did they get to the lane a lot easier in this first half, I should say, of Game 6. Spurs by 1. Bill Walton, Greg Anthony rejoin us. Bill, your thoughts on the first half?
As you start this third quarter, it's the most important part. How you come out and attack. Who can play offense? Who's going to be able to generate wide open opportunities? It's not going to be about guys who are going to be double teamed. Detroit's going to play great basketball. Duncan needs much bigger numbers. 6 shot attempts will not get it done. Will Bowen, will Barry, will they make some shots here? This is what it's all about. The championship on the line the first 5 minutes of the third.
Well, you talk about Bowen and Barry. They should get ample opportunity if Manu Ginobili can continue to dominate the paint the way he has in this first half. He's been able to get wherever he wanted, whenever he wanted throughout the course of this game. I love his energy and his activity. Also, 8 rebounds in this game to lead the San Antonio Spurs. He came to play. He came out with a closeout mindset. The question is, can the rest of that supporting cast match his energy?
Second half, what do you think is going to happen?
It's going to be very tight. Detroit's bench has got to give him something.
Yeah.
The Spurs are going to win this game.
Well, I like the energy from Detroit. They're leading in offensive rebounds. They're also getting more opportunities at the basket, and their execution has been flawless. Only 2 turnovers in the first half. If they continue like that, I think they win this game. If it stays close, I think that San Antonio gets a little nervous, and we could be back here Thursday night.
Well, after all the blowouts, we've had 6 straight quarters and the overtime with a margin of just a couple of points. Will it be tight here in the third and the fourth quarter? Al, Hubie, Michelle, and Stu coming up with the second half. You asked for more Tayshaun Prince, boys. You got 7 points. Rob Thomas with a special musical presentation. The first half highlights and the second half.
Those were tonight's McDonald's first half highlights.
Third quarter about to begin. Al Michaels, Hubie Brown, Michelle Tafoya, Stuart Scott here in San Antonio, and the Spurs trying to clinch it. Are up 47-46. One thing I think that really stands out, Hubie, when we were here last week in the first 2 games, routs by San Antonio, Detroit made 1 3-pointer in the 2 games. Tonight in 1 half, they have 5 out of 8.
Well, you have to be happy with it, and along with that, only 2 turnovers. Now, we'd like to show you the explosion. We know that at halftime, Chauncey Billups has made 3. Rip Hamilton made his first of the series. See, that's just an excellent move by Billups, freezing the defender. He has a lot of confidence. Told you he's shooting it over 43% for the year. Rasheed Wallace had an excellent first half. 9 points in a short period of time. He only played 12 minutes.
Gatorade cooler talk right there. What's your gut feeling right now? What do you think's going to happen here in the second half?
Well, I'm hoping that Detroit, from their standpoint, can continue to shoot the threes at a high percentage. And then also, you must make your foul shots. They just 6 foul shots. Otherwise, they're in a lot of trouble because the other guys are getting to the rim in the painted area and they're hurting it.
47-46 to Michelle Tafoya.
Al, Greg Popovich didn't say much to his team at halftime. He pointed out that Detroit had 12 points off turnovers and that a lot of the Spurs, a couple of them anyway, were not closing out on the 3-point shooters. Popovich told me, we're just making it easier for them to score. We can't do that. That's the only difference in this ball game right now. Now over to Stuart Scott, who's with the Detroit Pistons.
Michelle, Larry Brown told his team that he was happy with their effort and their energy, especially down on the defensive side of the court. He said, we took a few bad shots, but overall, I like their effort and their energy. He said, now all we have to do is go out and play. I said, Larry, what did you tell him with maybe a half left in the season? He said, I told them to go out and play their rear ends off and don't worry about things they can't control. An obvious reference to the officiating and the 2 technical fouls they got. Al?
Right, a half left in the season, and we can only hope that Larry's health is good enough for him to continue next year. Otherwise, who knows what the future holds in that regard, talking about the final half of whatever.
Absolutely. He's had a wonderful job, and when you think of the ups and downs because of the operation with the hip and then the bladder problems, all of the games that he missed, highs and lows with the team, and then they get to the finals. Now, it's difficult, but at least he's been very consistent. If he's healthy, he will be back next year.
Meanwhile, his team just starts with good defense and a 24-second violation, turning the ball over. 8 turnovers for the Spurs, and the Pistons have committed just 2.
In that first half, Detroit, Prince and Rasheed Wallace have come in with 16 points, and that's a good sign.
Shot clock at 6. Rasheed from downtown. Duncan off the glass.
If you can test that outlet, you're going to open up, the transition game. You have to be very careful in the second half if you are Detroit.
Ginobili with a runner. 49-46 Spurs.
Now, Al, that is Ginobili's 4th score on a drive to the basket. He has 4 scores on drives. Parker has 4. 8 baskets inside of 6 feet.
And 26 in the paint as Hamilton drops that one. They make it a 1-point game again.
I like Rip's attitude. Rip has been very aggressive in this game tonight. His movements have been extremely quick. The guys are hitting him early, which has given him the daylight. Catch and shoot.
Parker with penetration off the dribble.
You have an advantage now.
Phillips.
Muhammad did an excellent job getting back to equalize the defense.
And it's Phillips now from 16 feet. Muhammad with the rebound.
Look out.
Ginobili again all the way, and this time he draws the foul.
You must get in front of him. Every time Ginobili comes across and hits that three-point line, you must concentrate. Now, there's only 24 minutes left if you don't get it done in your season. Get your body in front of him and make him make the pass.
Ginobili at the line for a couple. You know, we had routes in the first 4 games in the series, but look at this in the last 6 quarters. Detroit by 2 at the end of the first in Game 5, tied at the half by 1, then tied at the end of regulation, and this one as close as it can get, 51-48, early third.
With Ginobili attacking the basket, Al, he's the only Spurs starter that's not shooting in the 60s, right, in this series. You know, Ginobili is right up there shooting 89% from the line.
Sheed Wallace off the back rim. Parker gets cut off by Hamilton. Goes in there again and sends it back to Ginobili for a tray. It doesn't go. Hamilton will stop at the free throw line and drop that in to make it a 1-point game.
Yeah, we're so close to him. And as he came across that half-court line, his eyes were on that rim. He ran a little hesitation with that dribble, and then the shot opened up for him.
Ginobili looking to drive, and before he can do so, Prince commits the foul. His first of the game.
We have 420 players in this league, and only 35 of them are left-handed. And we have 3 of them in this game, 2 starting. Prince for Detroit, Ginobili. And it's an advantage if you can handle the ball, and if you have that long stride, and you're not afraid of contact in the paint.
5 on the clock.
Pretty.
Bowen, he's free. Duncan keeps it alive for San Antonio.
In Game 5, Timmy Duncan had 8 offensive rebounds, and Ori. So at that center forward position, 13 offensive boards.
Dishes it out to Manu. Missing again, but they get the rebound again. And then driving to the basket is Parker.
Hey, that's a nightmare. When you're coaching, that's a nightmare. Not only did you get them to miss twice, but they picked up the offensive rebounds, and then the smallest guy penetrates and comes on the baseline where your rotation must be.
Prince gets free. 53-52.
This game tonight has been solid, Al. He's 4 for 7 now from the floor. He's more active, and what I like about it is they are looking for him early, coming off the curls.
And Prince really got into it. He had a good 4th quarter the other night in the overtime game. Tayshaun Prince, last time we were here, had only 3 points in all of Game 2.
Wow, a moving screen by Wallace will open you up anytime.
Helps.
Yeah.
Ginobili guarded by Prince inside to Duncan, who has to reach for it, and then off balance missing, but Muhammad is there. Again, the offensive rebound and the basket.
Right now, Larry Brown talking to his coaches. He's frustrated. He's frustrated. That's their 3rd offensive rebound in the last 2 opportunities of offense coming into the offensive zone.
And they cash both of them. They cash 2 baskets off those 3, and then Billups from outside the arc. Chauncey Billups.
Greg Popovich, you look at that. Rasheed Wallace had Parker down in the post, and they end up with Billups making a 3.
55 all. Billups has 14. The penetration, but this time he's cut off. Billups again. Reverse misses. But he's going to get it back.
Yeah, he was thinking of the block that time. He had 2 blue shirts running him down.
Knocked out of bounds by Mohammed. Detroit to inbound. Horry's going to come into the game, but first we have a timeout. 6:39 left in the third. Tied at 55. SBC Center here in San Antonio opened a couple of years ago, and in its maiden season, the Spurs won the second of their 3, what they hope will be 3 titles over the last 7 years. And take a look at these guys. Duncan is 29. Ginobili is 27. Parker is 23. So this is a team that's mature, that is seeking a 3rd title in 7 seasons, and all of these guys, are signed through the end of this decade.
Well, that's what you love about their management. They have their guys locked up, and also they have a middle-of-the-road amount of money invested in their ball club. And it's just interesting that they get it done. But they get it done because you've got a horse in Duncan, 8 straight years, first team all NBA, etc. and so forth, and you can build around him.
Chauncey Billups. And no doubt, as you look ahead, if Detroit sends it to a 7 and wins it, again, you're looking at Billups as a prospective MVP. Ginobili, blocking foul. Checking with Michelle.
Al, during that last timeout, Greg Popovich lit into his team for the first time this game. He was telling them, look, possession by possession. He chastised Tim Duncan, saying, Timmy, that's Chauncey Billups. Close him out when he's shooting the 3. That's 2 threes you've let him have. Play smart, play hard. Guys, no one was off limits. But the good news for San Antonio, no one hung his head when he was getting yelled at. Parker, Ginobili, Duncan, they all nodded in agreement, and they even applauded, knowing the things they have to do better, Al.
Vintage Popovich. Rasheed Wallace just picked up his 4th foul. Ginobili at the free throw line. 1 out of 2, and it's a 1-point Detroit lead.
Right now, the guards for San Antonio are excelling. Ginobili with 18 and Parker with 12. But Ginobili's backing it up. He's tied with Duncan as the leading rebounder with 8 in this game.
The 4th foul brings McDyess into the game for Billups, and that one drops through.
What a great tackle. What a great follow-up.
Ben Wallace. And then Duncan loses Ben Wallace.
Ben Wallace got pinned. Duncan worked very hard. After that score, he motored down the floor, posted up on the defensive circle, and pinned Ben Wallace behind him.
McDyess.
Lost his dribble. Oh, there you get a break there.
5 on the shot clock. And Bennett Salvatore from across the way signals a foul here.
On the switch. Yeah, on the switch, Brent Barry picked up the post man. Now this is just right in the face. And now, how about that follow-up? He's straight underneath the rim, and then he came up underneath. He gets the tap. Plenty of time.
Hamilton.
Oh boy, he's got it.
On the outside, long 2 for him, and the Piston lead is 3.
Yeah, Rip's starting to feel it now. He's 7 for 14, shooting 50%.
Duncan. Spinning through the lane. They collapse on him, converge on him, you've got the foul here.
Every time that Duncan makes the catch, there's no movement. As soon as he puts it down on the dribble, here comes the double teamer. And they go for the strip. They've been very consistent right there. And you can see the foul. The foul was strong right across the wrist area.
Dice's third foul. 15th foul. To the line they go now for the balance of the period.
From now to the end of this game, just like in Game 5, down the stretch and in the overtime. Anytime Duncan catches it, you cannot allow him to get inside. You must, if you're going to foul him hard, force him to go to the line. He must make the foul shot.
He's made 2 out of his 4 tonight. He's had a real struggle from the stripe.
Well, everything Al is about, if he's in his comfort area down in that post, low post, in the painted area, you know, you're in a lot of trouble. You're just going to play him regular.
And the Dice underneath, walk.
Well, for Detroit, that is only their 3rd turnover in this ballgame. They're a team that's right at the top of the league in fewest turnovers during the season, and at playoff time, they have been excellent at taking care of the ball.
And the 4th game, as you know, many of you who follow it, they set an NBA Finals record with only 4 turnovers. And what Larry Brown said is as close to a perfect game as they can play. Bowen spots up. Got it. Bruce Bowen with a 3-pointer, and the Spurs are up again.
Detroit played all of the options as well as you could play. And with the clock down, that kick out in the corner is murder.
Billups. Oh, Chauncey Billups. 19 for him. He is 5 out of 6 from three-point land. Barry on a drive, and it's a good play defensively by Prince. Got his hand on the ball. It's out of bounds to San Antonio.
One of the very few times in this game that Detroit has been able to actually get a deflection on a dribbler coming from a wing area. Now, you know you're not going to get away with that, Al, the rest of this half. You got to move your feet and get in front of the guy off the dribble. This is just an alert pass by Robert Horry in traffic, finding Bowen.
Bowen for 3?
Yeah.
Billups for 3. And the Piston lead is 2. The San Antonio River running right through the heart of downtown San Antonio. 64-62. Pistons a couple of years ago trailed Orlando in the first round 3-1 and came back and won it. East semis against Jersey last year, down 3-2 and won it. And most recently, that one right there against Miami a couple of weeks ago. Trailed 3-2. They won that. They had one at home and one on the road at Miami. But as we have said, in this 2-3-2 format in the NBA Finals, no team trailing 3 games to 2, as are the Pistons, have won the last 2 on the road. 11 seconds on the shot clock.
It's always nice to be the first team.
That's right.
Why not?
Very capable of doing it. Lindsey Hunter is in 3 guards in the lineup now for Detroit, and Tim Duncan turns around and ties the game.
Right now, Duncan has 14 points, but he's 6 for 10 from the field. Very quietly, he stayed within the offense, and he's allowed Parker and Ginobili to monopolize the shot attempts.
Phillips has already hit 5 threes tonight. Hamilton gets the rebound, doesn't get the bounce, tap back up, that doesn't go. Ball is loose, and it belongs to San Antonio.
What an effort by Ben Wallace. Coming down the middle of the lane, attacking the glass, and banging the ball, the missed shot off the board to keep it alive.
Biggest lead by either team tonight, 6 points, and that was Detroit. And Barry drives and scores with his dad looking on at SBC Arena.
You can't gamble like that. You gamble, and you know the Spurs guys, they've had so much success off the dribble. Just try to stay in front of them.
Rick's son, Brett, gives them the lead, and now the drive and the score and the foul here. And knotted at 66, and Hamilton will go to the line.
Well, Rip gambled at the other end. And as soon as he made that catch, you could see it. He was going all the way. And he's opening up now. He's shooting over 50% in this game, and he's at 18 points. So you know that he's going to be on fire here from now to the end.
When the Pistons have launched them tonight, they're 7 out of 13 on threes, but at the free throw line, they're only 5 out of 11. Phillips has 19. Hamilton right now has 18. And now he too has 19. So tremendous play from the two guards here, and the Pistons are up by a point. Barry over to Parker. After winning the game on Parker, gets away from Lindsey Hunter. And Ben Wallace comes away with it.
With Duncan out of there, you know that San Antonio does not have a low post game right now. So with Barry, Ginobili, and Parker in there, everything is off the dribble, and you've got to be prepared for the isolation.
McDyess. Barry staying on Hamilton like glue, and then Antonio misses here. And the rebound comes off to Ginobili. Under 2 minutes to go in the third. Fadeaway off the glass and a foul. Manu Ginobili can't get it to drop, but gets fouled.
They get the push on the hip, on the drive. As soon as he makes his move, just keep an eye on this now. Now watch the push right on the hip. All right, there it is right there.
McDyess is third. Here's Stewart.
Al, the last time Larry Brown was pleading with his team, he said, we are getting killed by dribble penetration. He said, we got to make them shoot jump shots. He told almost every player, stay in front of the guys when they drive. And even though they fouled Manu Ginobili in that last drip to the basket, he had 3 guys in front of him when he put the shot up. Al?
All right, Stewart, 67 all is the score. 1:45 remaining. Third quarter. Prince. Hamilton drives on Barry, and Barry with a foul.
I like what they were doing that time down the floor. They're trying to post up Prince on Ginobili, force Ginobili to work defensively. If that is not there, they're reversing the ball to the other side of the floor, and they're allowing Hamilton to go one-on-one on Brent Barry. And they feel that Rip can get to the rim on Barry.
Second foul on Barry. Hamilton tries to give Detroit the lead. And he does on his 20th point of the night. He's the leading scorer for either team.
Hamilton, Billups, and Prince for the season all shot over 80% on the line.
(69-67). Billups getting ready to come back into the game.
Now we have seen very little of this coming down the floor, pressuring. So far tonight, no trapping by Detroit.
Oh, Ginobili comes out, and it's going to be off him.
Excellent call by Bernie Fryer. This was just a terrific deflection, and it right off of the leg of Ginobili. Now Ginobili called out to Ori. There must have been confusion in that offensive set.
Detroit taking advantage of a lot of San Antonio turnovers tonight.
And they're trying to get Prince on Barry down inside.
They get McDyess, who spins around Mohammed, leaves him high and dry, and puts it in. 4-point lead.
Well, when a guy has an outstanding high percentage fadeaway jump shot on the baseline, you can get the guy to commit defensively. That was a beautiful head fake and a step under by McDyess.
Final minute of the quarter. Parker from 18 feet. No, but Mohammed keeps it alive.
Oh, look out here now. You have Ben Wallace outside on Parker.
Now you've got Ginobili driving through the middle, loses the ball again.
Great strip by Lindsey Hunter.
Spurs have turned it over 10 times tonight. And Prince is free from beyond the arc and isn't even close. Shot clock off.
Now, once again, you know, almost every time they come with a high screen, or they'll give him right there the opportunity to go to the basket and kick out.
Dished out to Barry, who can't hit at the horn. And that is the end of the third quarter. So the Detroit Pistons outscore San Antonio in the period by 5. And at the end of 3, in the 6th game of the NBA Finals, the Detroit Pistons 71, the San Antonio Spurs 67. And this presentation of the NBA Finals on ABC resumes after this message and a word from our ABC station. So here we go into the fourth quarter. Al Michaels, Hubie Brown, Michelle Tafoya, and Stuart Scott. San Antonio. Can the Pistons send it to a Game 7? Can the Spurs wrap up the title and ignite an all-night celebration in South Central Texas? 4-point game. Biggest lead of the game was 6 points by Detroit.
You like what Detroit is doing? Their coaching staff has got to be happy. Their guards have 40 points between them. They're getting a nice production with the other starters up front. Rasheed Wallace is the only guy in foul trouble with 4. You've only had 3 turnovers, so you're basically maximizing your possession.
And inside, and the basket will count as McDyess gets to the hoop and gets fouled, and he can turn it into the biggest lead of the game with a make here.
Now that was just a pretty basketball play designed to beat the rotation of San Antonio. Now here is the release man, but now watch as McDyess comes right down the middle, and he gets there before the rotator. Beautiful basketball.
74-67, Detroit up by 7. Biggest margin of the game.
They've got to get Duncan involved here. You know, you got McDyess on Duncan. You know Duncan can shoot up over the top of Antonio.
Ginobili gets it back to Ori.
Ooh. Yeah, good call. Very good call. Now Rasheed Wallace is upset. All right, Larry Brown is upset. And you're going to see it on the three-point. They get a definite push from the back. And it was, I thought it was quite obvious.
And that's 5 on Wallace, and he'll sit down.
Now just watch, it goes right here. Now watch, there it is, right there. Now you see the referee, the trail referee, had the perfect angle. Danny Crawford was right behind that.
Yep. And then he got Rasheed away quickly, because Danny Crawford will tee up quickly. Duncan saves. They move it around to Barry. 3 from 15. Follows, and it goes.
What a break. Now that is a big-time break. Detroit just got a terrific closeout and forced Barry to put it down right here. Now this is thing when things are going your way. How about that tap? That tap came. That was a miraculous tap.
Barry with a follow to make it a 5-point lead, going on 4. Good free throw shooter. Tayshaun Prince limps off to the bench. You have Rasheed Wallace with 5 fouls, and Prince out for the moment with the ankle or knee.
You could see he challenged that potential three-point attempt by Barry, and he made a gallant effort. Now, I could not tell whether he was injured on that play. Now, Barry has been terrific. He's come off the bench, Al. 11 points for San Antonio.
And Larry Brown back to what he had to do earlier, 3-guard offense here.
Yeah, you're small now. See, you're small again.
Hamilton on the off foot. Duncan off the glass.
Yeah, this is a bad break for Detroit. With Rasheed out, and then Tayshaun Prince, another excellent defender, but at 6'9", a quality rebounder for you. So now you got a small unit out there with Hamilton at the small forward position.
Working over to Barry. Hunter gets the rebound. He would be the third guard. You've got Phillips, Hamilton, Hunter. You got McDyess inside and Ben Wallace. And belongs to Detroit. Off Parker.
And they ran a clear out that time. And then they were going to allow Phillips to take Parker off the dribble or take him down into the post area.
Check in with Stewart.
Al, Tayshaun Prince, you saw him limp to the sideline. He tweaked his right ankle. They're working on it right now, but he will return. Al?
They work on him, and kneeling in front of him, of course, is Rasheed Wallace with those 5 fouls. And Detroit, of course, has a bench that Larry Brown uses only to the extent that the other night he only had 7 guys play the entire game. That means 2 off the bench. Turnover.
Great rotation. Anticipated that play. That was beautiful.
Only the 4th of the game for the Pistons. With 10 minutes to go in the period. Not even close on that 3.
Now, amazingly, we have seen Robert Ory shoot 2 air balls tonight.
And then it is Ben Wallace underneath, goes to the other side of the basket to make it a 6-point game.
Yeah, I like Ben tonight. I tell you, Ben is really quick. Off the dribble, he's attacking the basket. He's gotten himself 4 scores down inside.
He has 8 points in the game. The guards have done the damage for Detroit offensively. Ginobili, Hunter stays with him. 2 on the shot clock. Robert Ory.
Were they waiting for Robert? Now that is his 2nd 3 that he has made. So it's feast or famine tonight for Robert on the release.
He's made 2 to go with 2 air balls. Ginobili, back to Parker.
Detroit's got a button up now. He lost that.
Lost it out of bounds, but it's going to be ruled off the Pistons. Hamilton says you can't be crazy. Yeah, now Larry Brown's already had a technical foul. A second and he would be gone. Wallace comes out to move in front of Brown. They'll take a timeout. Robert Ory takes this one. He is the last guy you want to play in Horse. 76-73 Detroit.
Game 6, 1998. Michael Jordan proves why he was the game's greatest clutch player as he buries the Utah Jazz with a game-winning shot, capping his 6th world championship for the Chicago Bulls. The NBA Finals, where legends are born.
We showed you this before the game. In Detroit's locker room, it says San Antonio's parade is scheduled for Thursday. Detroit's idea, of course, is to have a game here and no parade on Thursday. You know, you think back a couple of years ago, San Antonio clinched the finals at home against New Jersey. They were down by 10 in the 4th quarter of Game 6. Right now down by 3. So do we see another fantastic finish here?
You use all of the props, Al, to get your club on the right page with the coaching staff, and Detroit has answered that. They have been physical. They have made 7 threes. They've taken care of the basketball. They're doing an excellent job. Now all they have to do is keep it together for 8.5 minutes.
You know, even if it's not true, it's a great thing to put up on the board, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, my. Wallace missed the jam.
We have not seen that happen very often in this series.
Ginobili underneath to Mohammed, and he can't get anything to drop from inside.
Yeah, he thought he got hit, but you see, you got to send that down with 2 hands. One-handed stuff in the series and the final, you're not going to get it done.
Hamilton is guarded by Barry. Shoots over him. Duncan off the glass.
Now Barry has come in and done an excellent job. He has 11 and Ory 8, so they have 19 between them.
Barry drives.
That was pretty. That was very pretty. Unfortunately, he didn't get the roll.
All except the end result. 76-73, the world champions on top.
Yeah, Phillips just went away from Prince posting Barry on the right side to bring him over to the left.
Hamilton on a turnaround from the baseline. Loves that spot.
He's 9 for 18 now. Now, Bowen was right on top. See, that's a shot that exasperates a defender, mainly because you chase them from one side of the floor to the other. Then they bring him back again on the baseline. All right, now see, they've already ran him on the other side one time. Now he came back on the other. You're right on him. You get right up on that shot. Nothing but net.
Exasperates Popovich into a timeout. Occasionally, an analyst should win a Peabody Award, and that was the case tonight. When I asked Hubie Brown about 3 hours ago what he thought the key to a Detroit win was.
They have struggled in games 1 and 2 to shoot a high percentage and to score points in this building. So I feel that they must be led tonight by Rip Hamilton.
Let's see, Hamilton is 23. So Hubie, I have a racing form here, and I want you to start marking it, okay?
Yeah, very good. Well, Rip has definitely answered the call here tonight. He's shooting a great percentage. And the other fact is, as a team, they are shooting 46%. This is the best they have shot regular season and the 2 playoff games.
San Antonio will inbound the ball. With 7 minutes remaining in regulation. Detroit is up by 5. Duncan, he's got Prince on him, so Prince is back in the game after he came out with the tweaked ankle and his whistle for the foul.
Right, see, they're not allowing tonight. If you're taking the ball to the basket, if the defender puts his hand on your hip or on your ribs and roots you out, that has been an automatic call. They have been consistent from the opening top.
Duncan, who strips to the line, have become an adventure. He is 2 out of 5 from the line tonight. Remember, Duncan in that Phoenix series in the conference finals in one game had 15 of 50 from the line. 2 out of 6. He's 3 for his last 13 going back to the Palace in Auburn Hills the other night.
Yeah, they've been looking at this ever since Prince came back into the game. Posting Barry in the low post on the right side.
Hunter stops and hits.
They needed that. McDyess has been the only player off the bench who has scored, and he has 10.
That's Hunter's first basket of the game.
Got to get up.
Parker. 4th 3, and Tony's been cold from outside, but hits a huge one here. His first three-pointer of the series. Halfway through the period.
They're looking once again down inside, and they went away from Prince and Barry. Clock is down here now.
Hunter all the way. So Hunter had been blanked until a moment ago and has picked up 4 quick ones.
And he has a bad ankle. We know that. He hurt himself in Game 5. And that was just a pretty move because that clock was down.
Duncan is swinging around to Parker again. Drives on Hamilton, but McDyess is there. Now Bowen out of the corner. And Duncan gets fouled.
For Detroit to win this game, from now to the end, you must hold them to only 1 offensive attempt. That is their 11th offensive rebound. San Antonio has been paced by Nazir Muhammad with 5. But remember now, Duncan excelled in the second half of Game 5 by keeping the ball alive. He had 8 offensive rebounds, and you do not want him to be able to dominate now, especially when you get them to miss the first shot.
Duncan, 3 out of 7. And everybody just holds their breath in this building every time he's at the line now. Rasheed Wallace, with 5 fouls, will come back into the game here. The dice goes out.
They need Rasheed to step up right now with the rebounding and the shot blocking. If anything comes at the offensive end, great, because you know they must play him.
And he makes both, and San Antonio's in the bonus the rest of the way. 4-point game. Rasheed Wallace does not have a point in this half. Parker pokes it away. Detroit inbounding here, 14 on the clock. Phillips underneath, and Hamilton gets it, and they call it against Detroit.
Yeah, that's a careless turnover. They're saying that he caught the ball out of bounds. See, they set a double screen for him to come towards the ball. And when his man trailed him, he just cut right to the basket. See, they caught him stepping on the line right there. Excellent call. A good move by Rip. He was open, no doubt about it.
And Hamilton right now, the mask came off, and I think they picked up the strap, so I don't know if it's broken or the strap came off it, but they'll work on it to put it back together here. But they can't stop the game because of this. Unless Detroit wants to take a timeout.
That's correct. Yeah, Rip has had this, and he's played with it, you know, and he has just terrific confidence. You're right here. Now let's just see what happens. There it is right there.
Yep.
You see, you got the slap and the pull down, but unfortunately for Rip, the call was already made that he had stepped out of bounds.
And he gets a little break. I think the reason they actually stopped it is the clock had gone to 50 seconds instead of 5 minutes. It's 5:07, so because of a clock problem, they got enough time for that mask, well, not to be repaired, but he doesn't have it on right now. They're still working on it.
Yeah, the main thing is that it slowed the action down. It gives Detroit a chance to take a breather here, and then for them to work on it if it can be repaired.
Ginobili. Manu Ginobili makes it a 1-point game.
Manu Ginobili has now made his 40th three in the playoffs. Young guy is shooting up in the high 40s.
Rasheed Wallace, his first points of the half.
Well, we know, Al, they can get that any time down the floor. That has been there consistently during the 6th game. Run the screen, go to the midpoint area.
4:15 on the clock. And inside, Billups comes in and commits the foul on Tim Duncan.
Okay, if you're going to front Duncan, and Duncan moves you out, then you need to jam the passer. You cannot step back off the passer and see that you're not contesting the pass. So if you front the low post guy, you've got to jam the passer and make it difficult. See, now right there you see Chauncey Billups thought that he had all ball out.
Marginal call, 4th foul now on Chauncey Billups. Duncan at the line. 4 out of 9.
Well, everyone's trying to pick up his confidence. He knows what he has to do. You can make them all in practice and all before the game and all at halftime. A lot of pressure right now.
For 5 out of 10, that makes it 84-82 with 4:13 remaining in the 4th quarter in the 6th game.
They're going for the back down right there. And that's what you want. You want to force Parker to make a decision. If he gambles and he doesn't get the deflection, you want him to pick up the steals. Because you want to try to get into this penalty now going down a stretch.
That's only 2 team fouls as Parker picks up his 3rd foul.
Oh, it is a switch. They switched out. They got a mismatch down inside.
Billups batted. Prince gets it, and Prince gets fouled.
That's the advantage of Tayshaun Prince. When he's in the game, you know that you've got an extra rebounder. He can get you anywhere from 6 to 10 in a game. And you can see his length by keeping that ball alive.
So 2 quick fouls against San Antonio. That's 3. 5 and they go into the bonus, so they have 1 more in effect to give here. Assuming it's not a shooting foul. 3:50 remaining in regulation. Billups inside to Rasheed Wallace. A turnaround. Air ball, but Prince is there to keep it alive. They'll reset. And Wallace will bang one from three-point land and makes it.
Now that is a big field goal.
8 3-pointers tonight. They had 8 in the first 5 games. Ginobili. Duncan.
Now they luck out right there. The Detroit staff, they're all up wanting to travel because as Ginobili ran that spin, he definitely trips over, and it was close to whether it was a travel or not, and they luck out by getting that loose ball.
Rasheed gets it. 1-on-1 with Duncan. 5 on the clock. Wild layup attempt, and then Prince is there, and he misses. And San Antonio comes back, down by 3. Two and a half to go. Duncan in low. Gets the bounce.
That was a strong move. Rasheed tried to defend him without a foul. And we know when you have 5, that is a difficult cover.
Absolutely. He had to back off or he would have been gone. Timeout is taken here by Detroit with 2:15 remaining in regulation. Back we go to the last couple of plays by Duncan. Picks up the lucky would-be turnover there. And then right here with Wallace and 5 fouls. To the hoop he goes. A 1-point game.
You know what we're about. That's what we do. You know, that's what we do. Nobody can be more proud than this. All right? Come on. We got this game. Every loose ball, every long rebound, every hustle play we make. All right? Let's go. Let's go. Have some fun, baby.
Larry Brown at the beginning of that timeout.
Well, you have to love it. He's proud of his team, no doubt about it. They played a great game. First time they've scored 80 points in 4 games in this building. Rip Hamilton and Chauncey have stepped up. They're getting good play from Prince and Rasheed Wallace. Big thing right now is they've got to get high percentage shots and then hold San Antonio to 1-shot attack.
Detroit has seen a 7-point lead with 6:10 to go down to a point. A little over 2 to play. Prince.
Oh, wow.
Floater from the lane. 3-point game.
A mini hook as he gets bumped.
.150 left. Ginobili drives all the way in, and it is Wallace, and he's going to get that call.
Let me tell you, that was some block. Mainly because he elevated, and there was a player down on the floor. He blocks the shot, and the ball comes down and goes off the player on the floor. Great play by Ben Wallace.
Won a ton in this series. 89-86. Shot clock to 10. Chauncey's going to go all the way in and miss, but right there to follow is Rasheed Wallace. Timeout taken by Popovich.
Since Rasheed has come in this game, Al, he has put his print on it, no doubt about it. In the clutch, he's made a lot of things happen.
Greatest thing about sports, one night you're a bum, 48 hours later, you're a hero.
Yeah, well, it's great. That was a great follow. And once again, Chauncey Billups confident, attacking to the rim, because you know you do not want to foul him.
This is going to give Rip a bunny, a flying jam.
Thanks for being our fans.
Thank you for always being there.
Thank you for the smiles. Thanks, fans, for always motivating us.
I'm Maurice Stoudemire for the Power Wham!
Thank you for your devotion.
Thank you for all the great memories.
Thank you for loving this game.
Back to that Ben Wallace play as Ginobili drives into the basket. And Wallace goes up, gets it there, and then the ball is officially out of bounds when it hits Ginobili. Yubi, if you're San Antonio right now, and it's a 5-point game, do you go into Duncan knowing you've got Rasheed Wallace down there and try to foul him out, but knowing Duncan has been very iffy from the free throw line, or do you go from the outside?
But he's your main guy, okay? You're not going to go for the outside first. You're always going to go down inside or off the dribble because it has been good to you all night long. Now, you will go on the penetration or into the post on a kick out. You might look for a three, but it must be a wide open three. Popovich is one of the best we have in the league at running plays on timeouts at the end of games.
Here's Ginobili. He's going to take it all the way underneath, and he's going to lose the ball underneath, and it's Rasheed Wallace with the steal. And Rasheed Wallace has 7 points in a little over 3 minutes. Big defensive play twice now. And all of a sudden, Rasheed Wallace, the other night, of course, he's the culprit for allowing Ori to get free. And tonight, a major star if Detroit wins the game.
Absolutely.
Now Billups.
I wish Chauncey would have passed the ball into Rasheed. He had Ginobili on that switch playing behind him.
Now from the corner. An air ball. Duncan underneath. Duncan pressures. Duncan can't get it to drop. The ball goes out of bounds. It will belong to San Antonio with 39.8.
Now, Timmy was right up in traffic, Al. He had a couple of solid opportunities, but give Rasheed Wallace, once again, a lot of credit with the block, and he almost came up with the loose ball.
Now Ginobili. Ginobili from the corner. That's contested, and underneath Wallace comes away with it, and then you got a whistle back here.
You like to have players understand the clock. There was about 36 seconds left. You do not have to force a three-point shot because, you know, you still, if you had a quick score, you still had 24 seconds to play defense, and you would have had another possession coming back.
So Detroit will inbound from the side of the court. Prince to Billups, and that became easier when Parker fell down.
You know, you got to be careful with Billups now.
And they foul him. And of all guys, I mean, he's the last guy, obviously, you want to foul. But Chauncey has the ball. The clock is running down, and at some point, you do have to foul him.
Well, he's up over in this series now, up over 93%. And he's just been absolute death on the foul line. And he plays with so much confidence. And you notice they allow him the freedom, and they go up the floor, and they space out. So even if you trap him, they have free people as outlets.
45 out of 47, now 46 out of 48 in the fourth quarter from the line.
Now I tell you, that is an impressive stat.
Last time there was a Game 7 in the NBA Finals was 1994. Timeout taken by the San Antonio Spurs. It's a 7-point, or in other words, 3-possession game right now. 25.1 on the clock, and the Detroit Pistons are that close to sending us to a 7th game for the first time in 11 years.
Well, you have to be impressed with the Detroit team, the way they answered the bell, not only from the physical nature with the shot blocking and forcing turnovers and that, but then with their excellent high percentage shooting, especially in threes. When you say 5 previous games, you only made 8 threes, and then tonight you needed the extra points, and you make 8 threes, 8 for 16. You shoot 50%, and then your 2 guards step up and play great, and then the one guy that you needed to come in big was Rasheed Wallace, and he's done it down the stretch with 5 fouls.
You'll be listening to this. Larry Brown in the last huddle, what he says to his guys.
Hey, I didn't tell you I love you guys. Let's go.
Well, there's a lot to love going both ways with that.
Yeah, but you see, that's a man who is proud of his team. They have overcome a lot of things during the course of this season, Al, and everyone was counting them out tonight. He's so proud of them because they have answered the bell with their hearts.
And he is such a human. I don't know how else to put it. We did that Detroit, Indiana game with Reggie Miller coming out of the game, and a timeout had been taken to allow Reggie to get an ovation, and it was still building. And Larry comes out, and he takes a timeout, so it could go on and on.
Yes, indeed.
A heart, a great heart.
For me, by the way, that was one of the highlights of my career as an analyst in attendance, because the building was just beautiful, and they answered the call to Reggie Miller, which he was well deserving, and then Larry's move was icing on the cake.
Well, he has a great sense of the moment, and of course his best pal is on the other bench, and this is a series these guys will be talking about for a long time. Greg Popovich, who admires Larry so much. Larry brought him here as an assistant coach. Remember, Greg was an assistant.
Right.
Larry coached the Spurs in the late 80s, going into the 90s, and now all of a sudden these two guys, these two best pals, have just set up the first Game 7 in 11 years in the NBA. Ginobili missing. Phillips with it right now, and they can run the clock out. And one game for everything, with the coverage at 8:30, and the game a little bit after 9 Eastern time on Thursday night from San Antonio. So this series dominated by the home teams in the first 4 games. Every game around, all of a sudden, a phenomenal Game 5, a very tight, tension-filled Game 6, and back we come the night after tomorrow. 95-86, the Detroit Pistons win the game. Series is tied at 3 games apiece. Here's Stewart.
Thanks a lot, Al. Rasheed Wallace, at the end of the last game, you took a lot of heat for leaving Robert Horry and allowing him to hit that 3. Your mindset coming into this game was what?
Hopefully we can get a chance to take it to 7, and that we did.
Late in the game when you had 5 fouls, you'd been jawing with the referees. You came back into the game in the 4th quarter, only 1 foul left. How could you control your emotions but still play so aggressively?
Just something that we had to do, something I had to do in order to push it to a Game 7.
What does this prove about you and your team?
You know, we could fight any odds. You know, a lot of people thought we was going to be out tonight, but, you know, they had their crystal ready and all that stuff. So, hey, we're going to pop it Thursday.
All right, thanks a lot, Rasheed. Chauncey Billups, you came in again and led this team. As a team, when you guys are trying to do something that you all haven't done, win in this building, what gives you the fortitude to do that?
Man, we just tough, man. We tough as nails. You know, our whole motto is if it ain't rough, it ain't right. And we always make it tough on ourselves, but we always find a way to, you know, climb out of that foxhole.
When Larry Brown told you guys in the huddle late in the game, he said, wait a second, by the way, I love you guys. What does that epitomize?
I mean, that's just how he is, man. He cares so much about his team and him giving his best effort out there. You know, he felt sorry for getting that technical at the tough time.
Way to go, Billups.
And, you know, that's just how he is. He loves us, man.
No team has ever won 2 games on the road, Game 6 and Game 7, to win the finals. How can you do it?
Hey, man, we did one. You know, it was all about getting 1 game, and now we got Game 7 coming up, and I'm ready.
What do you think about the idea that San Antonio had already planned a victory parade for this Thursday?
Hey, man, I mean, our team would have too. Our city would have too, but, you know, they got to put that thing on hold. We got something else to say. Pipe Sid, CC, come on, get out here.
Chauncey Billups, last year's Finals MVP. It could be another one, Al.
Yeah, he's on his way. I mean, somebody will emerge, obviously, as the MVP. It could be Chauncey. It could be Ben Wallace. If San Antonio wins, maybe Duncan. He hasn't been spectacular, but it's steady throughout, even though a lot of trouble from the free throw line. Horry, the hero the other night. Going to be great.
Absolutely. It's going to be a wonderful game, just like tonight. We had a lot of chess matches being moved around, and then people stepping up and delivering under pressure.
It'll be the first in 11 years and only the second time in 17 years that we have a Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Pistons win it tonight by 9 points. Series tied at 3 games apiece. Al Michaels, Hubie Brown, Michelle Tafoya, Stuart Scott saying good night from San Antonio. And we'll see you for Game 7 on Thursday.